the arrogance of the teenager in court. Increase his prison term from 25 years to 285 years. 18-year-old Danta Wright, along with his two friends, Jermarius Ellison, 19, and Delreno Gracie, 18, in October, robbed Jordan Klee, a high school student in Ann Arbor. Three teenagers initially attempted to rob Jordan of valuable items, but it was strongly resisted by Klee. Wright pulled the trigger in the chaos. It caused Jordan Klee to fall to the ground and never wake up. Wright grinned throughout the trial and was dismissive of the entire verdict. When Jordan's family were speaking, his mother burst into tears, but Wright deliberately laughed at her.
I just want to tell y'all, I'll be home soon. R.I.P. Keon. I love my family.
The judge was greatly shocked. Subsequently, he overturned the original 25-year prison sentence for Wright and ordered him to die in prison and never be reunited with his family.
Sentenced by the parties, but watching you sit there, smile and laugh and shake your head like this was no big deal. We'll go to trial, and if you're convicted of felony murder, you'll go to prison for the rest of your life. That means you'll die there. That's what I'm tempted to do.
Wright apologized to the judge through his lawyer, saying that he had merely concealed his fear by smiling and had no intention of showing disrespect to the court, but it was too late. Ultimately, Wright was sentenced to 285 years in prison for arrogance and will spend the rest of his life in prison. Do you agree with the judge's verdict? Share your thoughts in the comments.
Jake is wicked, man.
Wright deliberately laughed.
I want to say shalom.
That's what I'm tempted to do.
First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in this gospel, bro, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is another lesson through the Spirit. This happened like 7 years ago, but it just resurfaced on the timeline. So I'm assuming that somehow, you know, these algorithms, they tend to recycle videos that a lot of times people comment on, like, or the algorithm just throws it back in circulation. This happened some years ago, roughly 7 years ago, when these two gremlins, these two demons right here, what's these niggas' name? Dante Wright and the other two demons, which our people, man, are fucking wicked, man. All right, but this demon right here, or these demons right here, which is basically YNs, which YN stands for young nigga. It says two sentenced in 2016 fatal shooting of student during robbery attempt. And they only, at the time of the robbery, these dudes had to be about 15, 16 years old. Like, what are you doing trying to rob somebody of the same caliber? I mean, what's the big fucking deal, man? You know, but that's the new culture now. You got these YNs out here, and what they do, they listen to a bunch of rap music, a bunch of drill music, and what happens is they get demonically possessed, because when you're hearing drill music, like the whole concept of drill, when you think of drilling, you think of putting something in and constantly hearing it. When you're listening to drill music from sun up to sundown or to twilight, you have a bad diet, which consists of sugar and carbs, tainted water supply, okay, no father in the home, and a ratchet, wicked mother. This is what you produce, okay? You produce the failures of society, which a lot of them are Jake, man. He got sentenced to 285 years because he took the judge sentence lightly. 25 years is a quarter of your life, right? Now, he probably would have, out of 25 years, depending on good behavior, about him being young, and he showed some type of remorse, he probably could have got out in 10, maybe. You know, but then again, you know, when it comes to throwing a book at these Jakes, if I was the judge, I just would have maxed them out completely. But then again, you sat up there and you laughed, and then you said that you'd be home soon. That just infuriated the judge, man. So he basically put you in prison until the missiles come, because you ain't getting out of there. And that's a fitting punishment for a lot of you Jakes. As unrighteous as this justice system is, as corrupt as it is, from the top to the bottom, this system is full of corrupt. But Jake is corrupt, man. So that's a match made in fucking hell right there. But you can see the demons on this guy, man. You can see it in his eyes. And then when the judge sentenced him, you can see you saw the look of dread in him. You saw the fear coming down on him.
That's what I'm tempted to do.
Wright apologized to the judge through his lawyer, saying that he had merely concealed his fear by smiling
Reality
and had
setting
no
in.
intention of showing.
Yeah, reality's setting in on this little demon right here. And you can see the glow in his eyes. The nigga's a demon, man. And they got something which is called demon time. Demon time, man. And Jake used that term very rigorously when it comes to crashing out. Because if you hear Jake just say, look, I'm on demon time, that means that he's looking to put somebody in the spirit world or do a matter of wickedness. And this is why the scriptures say, among my people are found wicked men. All right, because, hey, this is the youths doing this. This ain't the niggas in the 40s. I mean, yeah, you got 40, 50, 60-year-old demons among our nation because Jake is totally destroyed from top to bottom. But you got crash outs as young as 9 years old, 10 years old, 11 years old, partaking in these type of activities. And these dudes ain't even 21 yet, you know? But he gave him 285 years. And then the crazy part about it is you playing with an Edomite judge. And the boy's side of his mother's side of the family is obviously Edomites. So I don't even know why you even set up there and you try to play that game with them, man. But now you sitting in jail for the rest of your life, and you ain't got nothing to lose. It's a lose-lose, man. But this is the result of the 2/3 of our people, because for the simple fact, hey, they've totally trusted in oppression, and this also comes from a failed parent, failed household. You know, with the failure of a mother, because the mother would sit up there and tell you, oh, her son is innocent. He didn't mean no harm, but yet your son is out there pulling guns and pulling switches on people and taking their possessions, shit that they worked for and that their families work to provide for their children. And you sitting up there going out and because you leaned up on Marty and Perks playing GTA or Call of Duty all day, you go out and then you start to implement this crash out behavior. And this is why you got a bunch of these little niggas out in the streets doing his wickedness, man. So the hell with you, Jakes. All right, but I got a couple of precepts. Not going to be a long lesson. But this is the book of Lamentations 2. And I'm going to start at verses 1. It says, how have the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with the cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven into the earth the beauty of Israel, and remember not his footstool in the day of his anger. Yeah. Okay, we was known as the epitome of beauty among the nations. But when you look at Jake now, Jake is a disgrace. Okay, nobody wants to be around you. Nobody wants to commune with you. Nobody wants to deal with you. Okay, nobody really wants to deal with your woman except for recreational purposes only. The black woman is totally out of her damn mind, man. You know, and the so-called black man is not present in the life of the child, whether it be him just completely giving up on the kid or, you know, him just being pushed away, doing to her being a demon. You know, this is the result of our people, because this is the curses, man. And it says here that the Lord have swallowed up all the inhabitants of Jacob, and have not pity, and he have not thrown down in his wrath the strongholds of the daughter of Judah. And the daughter of Judah is talking about the tribes, man. Okay, the daughter of Zion, the Israelites, man. It says he have brought them down to the ground, and he have polluted the kingdom and the princes thereof. Give me 1 second, Salakia. It says here, he has brought them down to the ground. He have polluted the kingdom and the princes thereof. All right. And this is nothing more but pollution, because if you look at Jake, Jake was once the glory of beauty, the standard of righteousness, man. Now we've been reduced to a bunch of gangbangers, drug dealers, homosexuals, whores, sluts, baby mamas, baby daddies. You know, we're not known as successful businessmen. And the only thing that's equated with our success is if we're dribbling a basketball or in somebody's booth rapping or spitting out bars or making beats. And we see what happens to the rappers of our nation. Most of them end up dying. All right. And he says, and he have cut off in his fierce anger all the horn of Israel, which the horn goes into our power structure. Okay, our safety. It says, and he have drawn back his right hand from before the enemy, and he have burnt against Jacob like a flaming fire which devoured round about. All right. And this is why our people are out here with no hedge, man. You know, crash out culture. Go down here. Let's guy's a demon, man. And honestly speaking, man, that's why when the cops unalive you, Jakes, we don't feel no type of way about it. You know? Because look at these dudes, man. This is the result of failed parenting, neglect, and a black woman, man. This is the black woman's this is her creation, man. You know, and they'll blame the father and say, well, where's the father at? Well, you can't blame the father because, I mean, by him not putting an influence, you can't blame him for this behavior. Though you can't say, well, they need his guidance, of course. You can always say that, but that ain't always the reason why they would stir left, okay? Because a lot of times this behavior is learned from the environment that they grew up in and that the things that they are exposed to or allowed to do. So when you buy your kid GTA 5 and the nigga's 10 years old, what the fuck you think he gonna do, man? You think Jake's out here walking around with Pooh Shiesties on, Crocs and basketball shorts with V-necks with Pooh Shiesties on, walking around with AR-33s, man? The hell you think gonna happen? You know? And this lawyer, he didn't look too keen on defending Jake. He was looking at this like, I don't even want to defend this nigga. And he's probably a public defender because clearly, you know, the parent, they can't afford a lawyer. Because the shit, if you trying to beat a murder, you're going to need about 25 bands up front. At least. And that's at the bare minimum. So if you trying to beat a murder, you're going to have some money on you, man. And they ain't got the money to afford no lawyer. So definitely this lawyer wasn't fighting for this dude. But even then, if he fought for him, give me a second. Who is it? Yeah, I think I'm going to hold off on it for like next week, bro. All right. Thank you. Yeah, they come and spray, they spray for the gnats and, you know, the bugs in the springtime outside and shit. I will let them in, but I'm doing my lesson. I ain't really trying to disrupt the spirit, man. You know, these people always seem to come on off time, so. But anyway. But yeah, you could tell his lawyer wasn't really trying to fight for this dude. And honestly speaking, he probably shouldn't have. You know, because like I mentioned before, this is the result of a failure of our nation. All right. And it says here, he bent his bow like an enemy, and he stood with his right hand as an adversary, and slew all that were pleasant to the eye of the tabernacle of the daughter of Zion, and he poured out his fury like fire. All right. And it says the Lord was as an enemy, and he swallowed up Israel, and he have swallowed up all her palaces. He have destroyed the strongholds, and have increased in the daughter of Judah mourning and lamentation. And as a result, our people are in a terrible state, because it was another video that I thought about doing. But the thing of it is, it was a 77-minute live stream. Spirit woke me up, and I caught it early this morning of this Jake lady. I think she was in Washington, or I forgot what state she was at. DC or some shit. I don't know. Vermont. I don't know. But basically, they was trying to take her newborn baby. DCFS came in, and she made a live stream. And, I mean, she was going back and forth with them people about them trying to take her baby. And she was fighting for our child because, for the simple fact, her first baby or second baby went into the system and died. So she was basically stating that DCFS was trying to take her kid based on her mental state not being all the way there, because our first kid died in custody. And, you know, she was just belligerent and going batshit crazy. And this is what proves that women need men in their lives, because they don't have the ability to govern their emotions. Because clearly when you acting out and lashing out like a belligerent demon, they're going to use that against you. Because see, Esau, he plays that passive aggressive role. He'll come to you smooth and sweet and say, you got to calm down. We can't do it. We got to handle this way. We're trying to help. You know, they come with that forked tongue bullshit. But reality of it is, they're trying to do something. They're trying to destroy you, man. So she was arguing with them people, and, you know, to the point that I cut the video off because the cop came in, and then they was asking like where the child's father at, and on the report it says that he is not a reliable resource, meaning that her and the father was not together. And after that, I just shut the video down, because in the back of my mind, I'm just like, see, this is the reason why you women are in the fucked up predicament you in. Okay, because you choose to have babies, and then you either push the man away, or you have a baby with a nigga that ain't right. And then you say, well, why do I need to have the father in his life? What the fuck you mean? You need the father in the child's life so the child can have some type of stability. He can have balance in his life, man. But a lot of times you hoes, you push the baby away, man. I mean, you push the child's father away because you demons, man. And the way she was acting at first, and I get it, postpartum is real, and you know, you just had a baby, you know, detachment and all. I get it, you know, you're gonna fight for your kids, but just the way she behaved, it's not it was an indicator of how she is as a person, because she didn't shut the fuck up. She kept talking. People in the comment board like, look, get a lawyer, call your mother, call somebody up there, call family, get off live. And she refused to do any of that, you know, but she steady telling y'all the devil, you ain't gonna take my kid, mother, you know, insulting the people. And I get it, you know, these people, they wicked as hell, you know, and they'll do anything to destroy our children. But at the same time, man, you have to have some type of composure, and you got to fucking be level head when you dealing with these people, man, because these people ain't gonna come fair. So in the back of my mind, I'm like, that's why the child's father's not around, because this bitch is completely out of order. And that's the reason why they was gonna take her fucking kid. You know, not saying that it was right that they did it, but the reality of it is you Jakes bury yourself in a hole all the time, man, because you just don't know how to deal with things rationally. You don't know how to shut the fuck up, man. You know, a nigga always got to be the victim. He's always got to try to defend some shit. Like, dude, Jake, just be cool, man. All right? But anyway, another precept. Hosea 4:1. It says, hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel. It says, for the Lord have a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there's no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of the Most High in the land, right? And there's no truth or any knowledge of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua among the 2/3 of our people. Hell, you got crackheads walking around with fringes on their t-shirts, man, and talking about, oh, well, the fringes is how we gonna get saved. The law, the law, the law. You got a man that's smoking PCP with fringes on, man. Teat zeets. How the hell does that work? You know? But it says no knowledge of the Most High in the land, but by swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out in blood, touching blood. And that's the result of it. Them trying to rob another dude, man, for whatever he had, and bam, he kept shooting him in 25 years of life because he wants to be a demon. He ends up facing 285 years. That's literally 2.5 life sentences, bro. Because the average man only live up to like 70 years old. 80 if he's unlucky. You know, 80, 80, that's right there, 160. You got another one, 80. Yep, that's 160 right there. 70, 80, 90, 200, 210, 220, 230, 240. Yeah, literally 2.5 life sentences, man. So you in prison until you gotta live. You gotta spend a whole nother term of your life in prison, which that's humanly impossible in this world. But regardless of it, Esau made an example out your ass, man. And the Most High is getting ready to make an example out of all you 2/3 ninjas, man, because there's too many ninjas like this that's walking around here. Completely, it's more of them walking around here than anything else. You know, they everywhere. You see some Crocs and Pushishis, or niggas with dreads, or niggas with backpacks on, man. Just try to stay out the way, because these dudes, man, they ain't working with a real these dudes ain't wrapped tight, you know. But it says, therefore should the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish, and the beasts of the field, and with the fowls of the heaven, yea, the fishes of the sea also should be taken away. All right. But it says by swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery. That's all among Jake. Okay. Because among Jake, there's nothing but cutthroats and robbers and thieves and murderers, man. Adulterers. That's why so much chaos in the black community, man. Wait till this coming 4th of July comes up. And the fact about it is 4th of July is on a Friday. It's on a weekend. So just imagine what type of violence there's going to be, especially if the weather is pretty sustainable. Just watch the murder rate go up in Chicago. That 4th of July weekend, them numbers are going to skyrocket. Triple digits, man. Just watch. And it's all going to be niggas, man, killing one another. Barbecues and shootouts. And that's what it's going to be. This is why you got to be away from these Jakes, man. You can't be around these niggas, man. They ain't right. All right. Jeremiah, 5, and let's start at verses. I think it's Jeremiah 7. Because Jeremiah went in all the way in on Jake, man. Jeremiah 7, and I'm going to start at verses 9. It says, will ye still murder and commit adultery and swear falsely to burn incense unto Baal, which is your gangs, and walk after other gods whom you know not? Yeah, that's all that gang shit. You know, you got 300, you got this block, that set, that block. You know what I'm saying? You got that gang. Like they just released, or I believe that they pardoned this nigga Larry Hoover. I don't think he was fully exonerated, but I believe that he's going through like a particular process. But Trump is a hero to the Jake community because he's pardoned. I think he's going to pardon that, what's that nigga name, man? That other cat. Was it, I can look it up real quick. I don't want to have to guess. Sometimes these things slips my mental, but Trump pardons. I know he pardons Larry Hoover. And he did another Jake rapper. I don't know if it's Wyman Melly or one of them degenerates. But he gave him clemency. Trump pardons drug kingpins even as he escalates U.S. drug war. Let's see. Larry Hoover. Larry Hoover is an older man. You know, he's a senior citizen now. It says, yep, Trump commutes gang leaders sentence in flurry of pardons. Let's see what, and I was going to go into this last week, but the spirit didn't have it to go that way. I was actually going to go into it. But yep, this Larry Hoover right here, he's the founder of the Gangster Disciple faction, which all these dudes are Masons, man. They all part of some type of fraternal. A lot of these dudes are set up. Let me see here. Yep. Oh, NBA Youngboy. So it says, former Connecticut Judge John Rowland, who was convicted on election fraud charges and sentenced to 2.5 years in prison. Kentrell Gaulden, known as Youngboy, who has faced numerous drug, weapons, and fraud charges. Convicted fraudster Kevin Eric Basin. Yep, but it was basically NBA Youngboy. Nigga named Kentrell Gaulden. NBA Youngboy was pardoned. And this dude, Larry Hoover, even though Larry Hoover is technically still locked up. I don't think he even getting out. But yep, this is who the modern day YN model their idolatry after. Niggas like this. All right, dude is 25 years old, and he's a complete demon. That's why the 2/3 you got to be burnt up. But it says here, will you steal and murder and commit adultery and swear falsely and burn incense unto Baal, and walk after other gods whom you know not? It says, and come and stand before me in this house, which is called by my name, and say, we delivered to do all these abominations. It says, in this house, which is called by my name, become a den of robbers in your eyes. Behold, even I have seen it, says Yahweh. All right. So the Lord sees your wickedness. But he says, but go ye now into my place, which was in Shiloh, where I set my name at first, and see what I did to it for the wickedness of my people Israel, man. All right, so Yahweh Shem Shai is getting ready to put holy hell on you Jakes, man. All right, but before then, there's going to be a lot of wickedness going on in the streets of America, especially when this dollar collapse. When this dollar collapse and we get close to that chip, that's when all these crash outs going to start really, shit going to be turned up. It's going to be like GTA out here, man. To the point you ain't even going to want to be in the streets because, I mean, these niggas are like roaches. I mean, for real, they literally in your backyard, man. You know, they stealing cars. They'll walk up on your property in broad daylight and steal your moped right out your lot. While you looking dead at them, they'll just drive off with it. You know, so yeah, brothers, man, just be on the lookout. But this is the book of Isaiah 19, and I'm going to start at 17, and I end it. And it says here, in that day, Egypt should be like unto women, and it should be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which he shakened over it. And the land of Judah should be a terror unto Egypt, and everyone that make it mention thereof should be afraid in himself because of the counsel of the Lord of hosts, which he determined against it, right? It says the land of Judah should be a terror unto Egypt, man. Okay, that's why Trump is claiming that he wants to deport a lot of you Jakes, a lot of you citizens to different countries because the crime wave, you know. But anyway, it's just a quick lesson, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Lord's will, you are edified. To the next lesson. Shalom.